Hey guys, good early Sunday morning. It is very early where I'm at, about 1 in the morning, September 4th. Of course, Jesse's going to do an upload at this time, right? Because that's what he does. I was not going to touch my phone for the next several hours. I actually just started watching one of my favorite YouTube families do their thing from Vegas. It's actually on in the background, full disclosure, but the volume is low. But I was just sitting here, and literally 2 minutes ago, I was like, you know what I got to do? I just got to talk about something that's on my mind. And I guess it's because of what I'm currently going through. You guys all know that recently I reconnected with an old bestie after, kind of not having them in my life for about 10 months. And without going too much into detail, there was some trust that was lost that last year, maybe year and a half that, we were in each other's lives, and, kind of made us have to, go our separate ways and stuff. And I think it's a miracle that after 10 months, we decided to, give it another shot with each other. But, it's very hard, right, to regain trust from someone when they break it. And, you don't have to be married. You don't have to even be in a relationship. It can just be a friendship. Trust is a very special thing. And for some people, it's harder to gain their trust because of, past experiences and whatnot. And then you break their trust after they finally give it to you. And it's like 10 times harder to get back. What do they say? You gain trust in drops, but you lose it in buckets. And it's so true. So I was just sitting here and I'm like, I bet you, in today's climate, in today's world where everyone is just stressed and angry, and it seems like people's characters are just, everyone's just temperamental, and you wake up one day and one person acts one way, and then the next day they're like a different person. And there's just a lot of different energies coming into this planet, and it's affecting everyone, So how do you deal with it? It's crazy. Everything's so volatile now. And how do you even start to regain someone's trust back? And I'm kind of going through it right now, and it's hard. It's very hard. Now, obviously, there's different levels of people breaking the trust that they have with you. Not all things that break trust are equal, right? Some are very, very big things. Some are very small things. But I think the first thing is, how do we interpret it? When someone hurts you, when someone loses your trust, it really starts with how you take it. If you hate that person and, you meet that event with more hatred and negative energy, then you're kind of setting that whole situation up for failure. You're making it 10 times worse than it really is. And you're actually kind of, in my opinion, making yourself just as dark as whatever they did to you to break the trust to begin with. In other words, we shouldn't be throwing out hate to anyone. We shouldn't be sending out any ill will to anyone, even if they hurt us. If anything, we need to pray for them, right? Obviously, they messed up in life, and they did, and they know they did, whether they admit it or not. And we want to pray that they find themselves. They find the light from the darkness that they kind of put themselves in, for the betterment of them and their future. You want to forgive them. We have control if as far as them, hurting us again. But we shouldn't hate them, and we shouldn't send them off with negative energy. I think that's the first thing we need to do. And I know that sounds very, Zen-like and, spiritual and stuff, but I believe it's true. We don't want to be just as ugly as what they did to us. Whether that be physically or mentally, emotionally, spiritually. We want to keep ourselves at a good positive energy level so we can attract better. I think that's the first thing we need to do. And I think the next thing, obviously, is, if we let them back in our lives, we have to communicate. To me, that's like 99% of it right there. We have to communicate with them. We have to be honest with them. We have to tell them what they did, how that made us feel, what it put us through. And we have to let them know that we're not going to let them do that again. We have to put our foot down. We have to be a little bit more stern with them, or a lot more, depending on what they did. And we have to, talk to them as if what they did to us taught us a very good lesson. And almost thank them for opening our eyes and making us more aware of how we are going to love ourselves more and respect ourselves more, so we don't let them or anyone else hurt us like that again. I think that is really important. But it's important to lay the groundwork, because if you're going to rebuild something, whether it's a relationship, a friendship, a marriage, you got to lay that foundation. You got to start all over, and that's the most important part. You got to put everything on the table. You got to ask all your questions. You got to air all your dirty laundry. And after all that, if you still both want to try this again, whatever it is that you share with them, then I say go for it. I believe sometimes second chances are more beautiful than the first time. I think sometimes people have to realize what they lost to really appreciate what they have. And I think we've all kind of experienced something like that. Again, whether it's a friendship or something more. And sometimes that's a beautiful thing. It doesn't feel beautiful when we're going through it, when we're going through the lesson, but sometimes it's needed, And I think as long as we keep our minds open, keep our hearts open, and we're just very honest and we communicate with them, I think there's a chance to pull it off and to have a stronger connection the second time than the first time. I really do. So anyway, that's just something that I'm kind of going through personally right now. Trying to trust someone again, that you gave them your full trust to begin with for a long time, and then to realize that they weren't that careful with it. It just doesn't make sense to trust them again, right? I mean, that's logical. But sometimes, you have to look at the big picture. You have to see all the things that happened and didn't happen while you were apart in your life, in their lives. And should you guys find yourself standing next to each other again for a potential second chance, I say, why not? It could very well be for a reason. But you have to go into it with good energy and good intention. You have to go into it with a positive mind, no hate, no ill will. You have to really want it, just on an energy and vibrational level. And the same thing with them, obviously. But the second thing, and to me the most important, is you have to communicate. You have to communicate 10 times better than you did before, both of you, at the same level. Not one person 100% and the other person 50, 60, 70, 80. It has to be 100, 100, or 50-50 if you want to look at it that way, you know. And I think if both people truly respect each other, you know, and they love each other and they do that, I think that the chances are very good that the second chance, you know, might just surprise both of you or both people. I hope that happens in my situation. I hope that happens with maybe some of you guys out there that might be going through the same thing. And maybe it has. Maybe you guys, you know, you've been through this and the second time was the charm. I don't know, sometimes the third time, right? That's what people say. I'm not on the third time. I'm not going to let it go that far. But, you know, sometimes, what do they say? Fool me once, blah, then fool me twice. They stop at number 2. They don't go to 3, 4. But, you know, I just wanted to say that because I know there's a lot of things going on out there right now with a lot of you. And maybe this is one of them. But just hang in there. It's hard to find good people in today's world. Sometimes good people can change, though, and they can have a bad day. They can make a bad decision, and they can really hurt you. And then they can make you lose faith in the world and lose faith in ever finding, you know, a good person, a good friend, a good relationship. And then you just kind of, you know, you believe into that. And then you're just miserable for the rest of your life. And there's no need for that. We got to be realistic. We have to be forgiving. We have to be understanding. And we have to keep ourselves grounded with good energy, good intent, good thoughts. And the universe, one way or another, whether it's the same person or someone brand new, will put us in a place where we'll be able to move forward, hopefully happier than we were before. So I send that good intent and good energy to all of you who might be going through the same thing that I am. And if not, if you guys are doing great, well, I hope it continues. And for all of you who have not even been in this type of situation, you don't have anyone in your life to hurt you. Well, that's good too, but I do hope you find that person to make life a little bit more exciting, fun, and enjoyable. This is just a last minute upload. I hope you guys appreciated it. I'm sorry if it was just kind of like, what's Jesse talking about now? Had to get it off of my mind. I hope you guys are sleeping well. I hope you guys have a great Sunday, great rest of the week. Look forward to coming back on here and chatting with you guys real soon. But until then, you guys take care of yourselves, take care of one another, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.